Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a two-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.
Hey, good morning, Mr. David Schwartz. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How about you, Jim?
You know, I'd have to be dead a week for it to get better than this, my friend.
It always cracks me up when you say that. We don't want you to be dead. We want
No,
you to be alive.
I'm kind of partial to it myself.
Life is good.
It is. God bless you. You have been busy and you got yourself quite a feather in your cap there, young man. Your stamps have been your photographs have been selected by the Postal Department.
I am just so truly honored. And for me, it's such a big milestone in my career, and 22 years of photographing Route 66 and coming up to this moment has been incredible. But even more than that, to be able to bring Route 66 to a much greater audience, to people that maybe have never even thought about Route 66 before, to have it land in their mailbox and hopefully influence them to get out there, take a road trip, and support all our mom and pop friends along the road is just an incredible thing.
Yeah, well, for as far as getting a feather in your cap, you're going to need a bigger hat with your head swelling up like this. But that is a distinct honor. You might even encourage people to start writing letters again.
I
Uh,
hope so. I hope so.
but your photography, there's not as much of an argument as there used to be whether photography is art. But your photography truly is art, and it has. I'd be curious to know how many people have been inspired by road trips, uh, especially on Route 66, after seeing your photography.
Oh man, I that's a great wish right there.
Because, boy, I tell you, you really, really know your way around a camera.
Thank you.
Yes. And you also work with Route Magazine a lot, right?
I do, yes indeed. I work with them as their lead editorial photographer.
Yeah. Gosh darn it. And you've got some gallery showings coming up along the road?
Yeah, right now, currently, just about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I opened a show in Springfield, Illinois at the Pharmacy Gallery. And I'm so blessed to be hanging right next to one of my big influences, Bob Waldmeyer.
Oh.
And that exhibition, it's called The Road That Takes You, Springfield Edition, and it focuses on iconic landmarks there in Springfield, as well as some folks that I call the keepers of the Mother Road, that include people like Penny Black, Bill Shea, and some other keepers there in Springfield as well. So that's 12 images, and that will hang there through pretty much the end of December.
Do you have?
So
Are you taking the show on the road, Dave?
well, that's the goal. It's just making all those connections and getting things in place. That's kind of the initial maiden voyage, if you will, for the show. And I'm in talks with other folks right now to bring more out to the road to galleries, museums. Anybody that's interested in showing the work that wants to collaborate on an exhibition, I'm open to talk with them. And one thing that's exciting is I just kind of sealed it up with Renee Charles there in Kansas. We're going to do a show in Galena that's going to focus on the stamp images. They'll have on display one of my large limited edition stamp image prints of their gas pump there at Cars on the Route that's on the stamp. And then they'll also have some smaller versions of all the other stamp images. And that is going to be on May 22nd. And that's going
Okay.
to be kind of a special first day of issue postmark that
Oh, wow.
that they're going to do there for that. So, hopefully I can pull some more of these together and, keep this work traveling the road and hopefully keep inspiring people to get out there and travel it.
Well, I can see this a nice exhibit at the AAA Route 66 Road Fest in Tulsa. That would be kind of nice. And if you find yourself out this direction, or maybe I should just kind of step that process up a bit and see if I can get some introductions. We've got a surprisingly strong arts community here in Kingman that really surprises people. We've got Sarah Peterson spearheads everything from performing arts, photography, painting, and we've got a really strong arts community here.
Well, I'd love any introductions you can make. And actually, it's not too far away that I will be in Arizona, and I believe we'll both be out at the fun run.
Yeah, you're going to be up here for that. That's going to be pretty exciting. We're going to have a little dinner down at Get Together Roadies. I think Penny Black's coming out down at Calico's Restaurant on Saturday the 2nd, down at Calico's. Then they're going to relight the Hotel Beale sign.
I saw
And
that.
I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but a very talented Japanese recording artist that works a lot with the Japanese Association. He's going to be performing that evening at the Beale Street Theater downtown. And it might be a bit of a crowd, and I know that you're going to be pressed for time. You've got to get down to Phoenix, but so maybe I can facilitate some introductions with the people here with the arts community.
That would
And
be fantastic. Yeah, it's just obviously I wrap up a shoot here in the Cleveland area that's a 3-day shoot that Wednesday leading up to, and then I hop a plane to Phoenix, and then the next morning up to Seligman, and then from there obviously on to Kingman, and then next day up through Oatman, and then my goal is to get all the way out into the Mojave Desert, and make some blue hour shots of the Roy's sign with the neon burning, which I've never had the opportunity to do yet, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then also over to photograph the new Roadrunner Retreat restored sign.
they just put up, and I understand that I just stopped by there last night in Seligman. It wasn't lit yet, but they've put up a beautiful new sign on the edge of town in Seligman, and they're supposed to be lighting that at a special ceremony on, I believe it's April 30th, the Thursday before the fun run in Seligman, and that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, man, I'm so looking forward to this fun run. On my very first trip in 2004, when I met Bob Delgadillo, he encouraged me to make it out to experience the fun run. He said it's a time like you'll never have anywhere else. And it's something that I've always had on my bucket list, and I'm so excited to finally make that happen.
It's a really kind of a crazy event. It's the best way I can put it. It's about a 2.5 day block party, and they're extending that a bit because of the Thursday night activities. They're going to have Bob Bose Bell and some others up in Efren Lopez, up in Seligman. Angel's father's barbershop on the original alignment of Route 66 has been refurbished, and they're going to be reopening that. But the fun run it's unique. It transforms 150 miles of Route 66 into a blurring of the past and the present and even the future, because all of a sudden the road is crowded again. Seligman, the traffic congestion, the Grand Canyon Caverns is packed, and it's anything with wheels. You've got Sam Murray includes this. He's got Gilligan's Route 66 tours out of New Zealand, and he includes the fun run in his spring tour. So you've got internationals, and you've got people who show up I've seen everything on that road from 1910 Cadillacs to restored 1956 Greyhound Cena Cruiser buses
Wow.
and rental cars and just Ernie Adams' famous dwarf cars. Just the stuff. It's really an amazing event.
Yeah, I've got this vision in my mind of, being along 66, out there in the desert areas in between, Seligman and Kingman, finding places up on hills and like shooting down on this ribbon of cars just streaming down Route 66, and it just thinking about it about makes the hair on my arms stand up.
Well, Sunday morning they leave Kingman, they run up through Oatman, and Ned's going to have a Efren Lopez out at Cool Springs, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, it's pretty amazing to see the old road uh, filled with cars. They usually have about 800 cars registered, and then there's another 100 or 200 people who just simply tag along. So yeah, it gets pretty interesting. And this year they're adding like say things like relighting the Hotel Beale sign and some of this other stuff. So it's going to be a kind of a hoot.
Now, what number fun run is this for you?
Oh, I've been attending them all, except for the year of the apocalypse. I've been pretty much involved with all of them. I was the chairman for the Fun Run committee back in '93 or '94.
Wow.
93, because 94, I worked with Scott Dutton. We established the Route 66 Association of Kingman the following year.
So how long has the fun run been, quote unquote, running?
Since like 1987, I believe was the first one.
Wow.
It's one of the oldest big events on 66.
This is so exciting. I
It's
really
okay.
am looking forward to it.
Well, and this is, I'm hoping people don't get too myopic and just focus on the centennial, because this is the countdown to the bicentennial. This is
Indeed, it
where we kick
is.
it off. I won't be here for that event, but Angel Delgadillo might be.
Yeah, there's a good chance, and he'll be smiling.
He's still going. Gosh darn, he walks down to the barber shop most days. He's building birdhouses at home, really ornate birdhouses that are selling as fundraisers for Route 66 projects in Seligman.
I heard about that. Rhys Martin was telling me that he picked up one of them, and he absolutely loves it. He had recently given him a print of the oil capital motel sign that's on the stamp. He was really excited about it, and I'm like, I'll send one off to you. And he said he was going to hang it next to Angel's birdhouse, and I thought that was really really great.
I'm sure glad you're getting out here. It looks like we're going to have a lot of the roadies, like say Penny Black and Dean Kennedy are talking about coming out, and then we've got some tour groups involved, some great car clubs, and Bob Bosbell, like say, will be up there in Seligman on Thursday. So we've got some great celebrities, personalities, people attending. Um, should be one big hoot.
Yeah, I think so. Really really super excited. It's going to be such an incredible couple of days, finally making it to the fun run, heading out to the Mojave, and being able to wake up there before the sun rises and just experience that. I'm camping out there,
Yeah.
and I've never camped in the desert before. I'm just really like looking forward to the feeling of that and being on 66 out there in the middle of nowhere, pretty much nobody else around, and and then from there on to the first day of issue, where I actually get to say a few words about the stamps. So that's really exciting for me.
Oh, have you ever done much around Goffs, California, out there in the desert?
I really haven't. The Mojave Desert, I think I've probably, in all of my 43 travels on 66, I think I've been through the Mojave 3 or 4 times, and I haven't really gotten to explore Goffs all that much yet.
They've got a Harvest Host campground there at Goffs, And eh, the Cassibers, he's passed now, Dennis Cassiber, but they've got quite a museum. The old schoolhouse is renovated, and that's their headquarters and museum for the Mojave Desert Cultural and Heritage Association. And highly recommended. They've got a lot of outdoor exhibits, things they've brought in, like a tin stamp mill, a lot of Route 66 artifacts. It's quite an extraordinary place, and it's up on the hill. And I was speaking out there recently in a fundraiser, and in the background, the sun was setting, and the trains are going by about a half mile in the distance through the desert, and it was just really pretty spectacular.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'll have to try to make it in there, see what the timing of things is, and make it up the Goffs and maybe check out the museum. I'm not real sure what the timing of things will be that day because
Yeah,
I do want to kind of get up early and travel, up through Golden Road and all that, and
yeah.
then obviously out into the Mojave. One thing that maybe you can educate me on a little bit. I'm understanding that my buddy that's going along with me, he's got a 4x4, so I understand that we can kind of round the roadblock off of Kelbaker Road. Are there multiple places where 66 is blocked off besides that one spot around there? Or is
Yes.
it, yeah, is that possible to get around all of them with a 4x4 or not necessarily?
Yeah, you probably can. You might want to have a shovel just in case.
Uh,
It's pretty sandy
uh,
in some spots out there, and you may have a 4x4, but that's not a Model T Ford, you know.
right, right.
So you might end up getting stuck.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't want that. Yeah, because I'd really like to take in as much of that Mojave stretch as I possibly can while I'm out there.
yeah,
I certainly would probably want to do that, you know, headed out there instead of headed back. I don't want to risk anything when I got to head
right.
back and be at first day issue.
No, gosh darn, being late, that'd be like being late for your own funeral. I
Right?
mean, that would be bad news. Yeah, you're going to really enjoy this, and I look forward. Now you got me excited, looking forward to your next round of photography. Uh, Amboy is kind of expresses the unique nature of Route 66. My pa said it was better to fill your head with useless knowledge than no knowledge at all. And I can't remember. I think it was 2007 or 8. Amboy was the most photographed location in the world for commercial photography. Uh, Everything from Australian insurance commercials, Levi Strauss, Russian vodka, they all did photo shoots out there for some reason that year. And it's pretty amazing because Amboy is not exactly in the middle of nowhere, but you can see it from there.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have one of my friends and clients here in Cleveland. He's into 66 a little bit. He hasn't traveled much of it yet. It's kind of like he's chipping away at it here and there, but he was out in California for a job and he made it a goal just to make it out to Roy's
Yeah.
to experience that. And that was one of the big chunks of his trip.
They've started hosting an annual car show out there. They just had it a couple weeks ago, and I was really surprised they had something like 250 cars show up out
Wow.
there. Yeah, pretty impressive. Now, the introduction of this stamp, this issue, this is going to be in Phoenix.
Yes, yes. It's taking place at the USPS Postal Forum, which is an annual event that they hold.
Ah, okay.
That's why it's not on 66.
That
I
was going
feel
to be my
like
next question.
I feel like it's one of the sets that they're really super excited about this year, and I think that's why they chose to release it there instead of somewhere along 66.
Yeah. Hmm. This is really going to be exciting. I hope we get some good press coverage out of this.
I feel that I will. There's been a lot leading up to it, and I've had a lot of interviews as of recently, both sit down interviews, and then also some stuff where they've where they've interviewed me with a camera and everything. And I think there's 3 different things that are coming out that, I've sat down and talked to people. So I'm excited to see how those things come together, because, with the media, they don't let you see what they created ahead of time. It
Oh,
just
yes.
rolls out.
Yeah, isn't that fun? Sorry, Bob. Yeah, I can tell you some stories on that one. But
But
that's
they
all part of the
actually,
adventure too.
AP interviewed me at my Springfield opening a couple of weeks back. So that was exciting to actually be in a gallery, show opening, where they're going to actually show some different photographs that are not on the stamps as well.
How many stamps are in the series, the Route 66 series?
So surprisingly enough, there's one for all 8 states.
Okay, that
I
makes
got
sense.
those covered, and then I've got this really one of my favorite shots that I've ever created. Yeah, it's called The Golden Highway to Unlimited Dreams. And I shot that just a little bit east of Seligman, Arizona. And if we take a little trip back in time to where my Route 66 influence was born, it all came out of my friend and I dreaming about Route 66 after hearing Depeche Mode cover Get Your Kicks on Route 66.
Ah,
And we had dreamed a trip up that when he graduated that year, I was a year behind him, we would get out on 66 and experience the Southwest. And being that I was only 16 years old, my mom was pretty much like, "You're crazy. You're not going out west." So he went, I didn't. It lived in my mind forever. And finally, in 2004, I made my first travels on 66. But, that always lived in my mind. And it was 2023 that Mike and I finally were on 66 together, and I created this photograph. And that image is going to be what they call the salvage, which is the photo that goes behind the stamp layout.
okay.
So I'm really excited about that photo being on the series, because it's really special to me that we were finally there together, and I created this photograph with my best friend there of something that we had dreamed up years and years and years before.
Route 66 definitely is the road of dreams.
It indeed is.
Yeah, most definitely. So, Galena, Kansas, May 22nd. How's this going to shape up? What do we got going here?
So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be there for this one. But what they're going to show is they've got the print is going to be matted and framed 24 by 30. And that's the stamp image of the gas pump there at the Canotech station at Cars on the Route. And I call that image Fueling the Past.
Yeah.
So they'll have that, and then they'll have some smaller supporting 8 by 10 matted images of all of the other stamps, and also the salvage image as well.
Oh, this would be quite an
And
event.
and they've created some postcards for them of the Kansas stamp, not the stamp itself, but the photograph. And they're going to have that available for like first day cancellations there. So they're doing sort of a special first day of issue, even though it's not, technically the first day of issue there in Kansas. And hopefully we'll see some more of these along the road as well.
Oh, Ken Termel would have loved to see this.
Oh, yes, he would have. Yes, he
he
would have.
he did his postmark art about 20 years ago. He was
Yeah,
really
I'm lucky enough to own one of those.
yeah, yeah. That was quite an innovative idea that he had.
It truly
Collecting
was.
collecting postmarks from all the different places along Route 66.
I bet he's about the only person that can say they've visited every post office on Route 66.
If you get enough of these events that you can't attend, we're going to have to get a life-size cutout of David.
Oh, God. Like Angel by his barber chair.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, boy. You know who else has one of those is Sam over at the Made Right Diner in Springfield. He's got a cut out of himself there too.
This is kind of getting off topic a tad bit, but this, when they did the statue of me here in Kingman, uh, they had a card. I was just humbled and honored, but man, this was embarrassing. I wish they would have waited till I was dead. But they had a life size cardboard cutout of me in the window of the Chamber of Commerce. Somebody walked into the Chamber of Commerce and told the secretary that they were picking that up for a show at the Powerhouse. They walked out with it. Nobody's ever seen it since.
Oh, I wonder where that's going to turn up someday.
I told them to check the rifle range. But,
oh, man. You're funny.
but gosh darn it, this is such a distinct honor. I've been a fan of your work for a very, very long time. And I've always wanted to see one of your shows, but this is an honor. I didn't see this one coming, but I'm so proud of you. This is really impressive, very impressive.
This has been, believe it or not, nearly like 3 years in the works, and it takes time to go through the whole process, and I've had to keep my lips sealed up until, well, they announced it. Let's see, I think it was the end of November, and I had to keep my mouth shut about it all that time. And I think the last time we talked, I may have even mentioned on the show that I have something else pretty big coming, and that's what it is.
How did this come about? How were you selected for this, David?
Well, it was pretty interesting. It was one morning I'm sitting there at the desk, just, I don't know what I was working on something, and the phone rings and I pick it up, and the lady on the other end says, "Hi, I represent the United States Postal Service, and we're working on a series of stamps to represent Route 66 for the 100-year anniversary. And we found your work and we love it, and we feel that it really fits the look of stamps, and we'd love to work with you. Is that something you're interested in?" And I had to pick myself up off the floor and say, yes, absolutely. I would be honored. And it's kind of interesting because probably 10 years prior to that happening, I've always aimed to create images that are like bold and graphic and simple. And one day I'm sitting there looking at my Lightroom catalog, and the thumbnails are really small, and it popped in my head, and like, some of these would work really great on stamps. And I spent a little time researching, how do you reach out to the Postal Service and pitch them an idea? And I couldn't find the pathway in. So, I just kind of let that settle, and I feel like I must have manifested it. I just put it out there, and it had to wait for its time to come around.
Yeah, well, it's odd how these things come about like that. They just, it's just, you go out beating your head against the wall trying to make things happen, and when you give up, yep, that's when it happens.
Yeah, so much of it, I think, is just like, if you listen, the road gives back to you.
Yeah.
I have a photo that I created just around the bend from Roy's. Actually, I was making some golden hour photos of the Roy's sign and the buildings out there, and the sun was setting, and I'm kind of looking in the direction of the sun, and I realize, I'm like, my goodness, I think the sun might set right over the road. You know how there's that bend around the road there. So I hopped in the Ford Mustang that I had rented, and in classic movie style, peeled out of Roy's, dust flying everywhere. And, I had maybe about a mile down the road, and sure enough, there's the sun, and it's pretty close to setting. It's sinking. And I'm like, boy, I got just a couple of minutes to make this photo. And I'm standing there making a couple shots in the road. And I'm like, this is really beautiful, but it needs the Ford Mustang that I'm driving down the road off into the distance. And I'm like, can I pull this off in the amount of time that I have? I'd have to set up the camera and use a remote trigger and everything. And I'm like, no, I don't really have time to pull this off before the sun's gone. So just as I went through that thought process, I hear a car approaching. So, obviously I got to get out of the middle of the road. I turn around and I look, and it's the exact same Ford Mustang that I'm driving. And there's two gals in it headed off on their trip on 66. And I captured that photo. And so I call that one Manifested Mojave Sunset.
When I try not to get too cosmic, even though I'm a big fan of Twilight Zone. But it's odd sometimes these little moments in life like that you could not orchestrate it.
Yeah.
If you couldn't plan it, and it just happens. I mean, out in the Mojave Desert, to have that car show up with two girls in it at that moment. What are the odds?
Right.
I mean, there's 8 cars that go by there every day, and yeah, it's pretty darn amazing.
The universe and the mother road looking out for me.
Well, I don't know. Now you've really set yourself up for a small problem.
Oh, what's that?
how are you going to top this one?
Right. I don't know. I'll just keep listening to what the mother road has to say, and we'll see what happens.
Boy, I tell you, this is going to be a tough one this is going to be really something.
I do have something else in the works that's going to be pretty big too. It's another one of those things that my lips got to be sealed till it hits.
Oh.
But it's in a way, it's kind of as big as the stamps. So
will any of your family be able to join you out there in Phoenix for this, or?
I am so truly blessed. When we took a look at, the kids are in school, we can't take them out for a long time. So we thought about it. It was basically, they'd fly in the day before, be there that day, fly out the next day. And the flights for everybody was just going to be incredibly expensive.
Sure.
And it just wasn't something that we were able to float. And one of Shannon's dear friends that she's known for a long time reached out to her and asked, are you guys going to be able to go to the first day of issue with David? And she's like, well, we really can't afford to do that right now. And she said, well, I would like to gift you guys the flights to go and be there. So she paid for our flights and our room.
Yeah, David, absolutely wonderful. That's perfect, because those kids in Shannon, they really need to be there for this. They really do.
I'm so grateful for her. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to help somebody out in that way, and I just so touched.
Most definitely. That's what this whole, that's what the whole thing is. And your photography does this. We are blessed with gifts and talents so we can be a blessing unto others. That's the whole point of this story. Is trying to make the world a little bit better place than it was when we got here. And,
I totally agree with that.
Your photography does that quite well. It does. It not only encourages people, but it pardon the pun, but it often brightens a day.
Oh, thank you. That's my wish to inspire, brighten days. Hopefully just get people out there supporting our dear Mother Road for the next 100 years.
This road, it's really funny. And I was talking on this yesterday up in Prescott when people were asking questions. You find there's more mom and pop stuff you'll find it scattered like US 6, US 50, US 12 in southern Michigan. There's some amazing places, little towns like Jonesville. But it somehow Route 66, and I don't like the words, but I don't have any others. There's an infectious magic about Route 66 that sets it apart from any other highway.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. It is really such a magical thing, and I think that, there's just so much lure around it.
Well, it's the people. people like yourself, Connie Eccles, Vicky Ashcraft out of New Mexico, it's the people you meet, the people that just they're so excited to be traveling the road. They're so excited to have a business on Route 66. They're so excited to be a part of the Route 66 story, and their infectious enthusiasm. That's what infuses it with that infectious magic.
Fully agree. You know, the beauty of Route 66 is definitely the people. It really is. There are so
Yeah,
many wonderful friends that I've made along this highway,
yeah,
and it just keeps me coming back time and time again. You know,
yeah,
I got to go visit my friends
yeah.
and make some photographs along the way.
People, yesterday I was asked this again, and I'm asked this often when I speak. How long does it take to travel and see Route 66? And the answer is I don't know. I've only been doing it since 1959, uh, and yes, I am that old. But it changes constantly. The people change. Bob Waldmeyer, Connie Eccles. We've got a new chapter unfolding at the Wagon Wheel Motel.
Yeah, that was
Connie,
a surprise.
well, Connie's been very, very ill and passing of the torch. And Rich
Yes.
and Christina are some of the best stewards I can think of for that. Rich Dinkle and his wife, they did such a wonderful job on the Shamrock Motel there in Sullivan, and now they're taking on the Wagon Wheel. But these things evolve, they change. We lose people, we get new people, and yeah, it's something that has to be experienced. And your artwork, as beautiful it is, it's kind of like photographs of the Grand Canyon. The photography, you've got to experience this. The photography is the gateway drug. It'll drag you into it, but you've got to experience this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. What I like to say about Route 66 is, it's a piece of history, but it's not something that's, contained in glass or you can't reach it because there's a velvet rope. It's something that you can step into and experience and become part of and
Yeah,
carry that history forward.
yeah,
And, you see it happening all the time. Take a look at like Mary Beth Babcock.
yeah.
She has just blown Tulsa up on the east side there. Like she's inspired so much creativity
Well,
just in that little area there that it's made well, Tulsa is the capital of Route 66, but it's just elevated it to another
yeah.
level.
Rhys Martin, his wife Sam, the people there in Tulsa, Oklahoma in general, the Lieutenant Governor Pinnell, but Tulsa, that's become the poster child. How to use cultural and heritage tourism centered on Route 66 as a catalyst for revitalization and economic development. Those folks are selling everything on the hog, including the squeal. They
Yeah.
got this, and they're really doing this. We've got some folks, when you come to Kingman, it's going to be pretty busy for the fun run, and you're on short time. But Tim Webb and Lenore Knutson, wait till you see what they have done with an entire block in downtown Kingman. They have taken a 1939 gas station, renovated. They've gone so far as to go to Pennsylvania to get an original Pegasus for the front of
Wow.
the building. The strangest 1919 era gas pumps they've put out there. I've never seen gas pumps like this. Next door, they took a long, long shuttered 1930s diner with distinctive stonework, and they turned that into a gourmet ice cream parlor. And then at the end of the block, they took a 1940s roadhouse that had been closed for years, made that a gourmet coffee shop. And in between, it was a lot of really badly condemned buildings. They leveled, and they bought up a bunch of Airstream trailers from the 40s and the 50s, 60s, and they were junk. They polished them, they gutted them, turned them into modern Airbnb rentals, and created Tin Can Alley on 66. Then they brought in Ray Harvey, the Missouri mural artist, to
Ah,
do
yeah, yeah.
to do murals on that property. They took an entire block of condemned buildings and transformed it into just an amazing time capsule destination.
Wow. See, I love the creativity that you find along this highway.
Yeah, it inspires people to be creative, become, well, photographers.
Oh, I had no idea, when I took that first trip in 2004 that, 22 years later, I'd still be returning all the time. The road just keeps pulling you back.
It does. And I have trouble with this because it's a road, for God's sakes, and it's a road that officially doesn't even exist. And my folks used to tease me at the most inopportune times that I was literally potty trained along Route 66. So trying to comprehend what this road is and it has become is a challenge sometimes. It's mind-boggling
Yeah,
because so much of my life, truck driving and everything else centered on Route 66. And to see it today what it is, yeah, it's really difficult. And talking with you, getting to know you, but the thought that Route 66 would be enshrined through your photography with postage stamps, I never in my wildest imagination would have ever thought that, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I never would have thought that the post office would honor a road, with stamps. It's
yeah, it's pretty incredible.
This is going to be good. I am very proud of what you've accomplished here, and so we'll have to see if we can get some of these gallery showings going for you in your neighborhood. And you don't have to be on Route 66 to have a great showing of David's work, by the way. I think we can find other places for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe by showing it on 66, we're already kind of preaching to the choir in a way.
Yeah. Mhm.
Showing it elsewhere could be a much bigger catalyst to getting people to the road.
Well, that's what I've been taking this off the road a bit. I was in Prescott yesterday, and I was in Lake Elsinore, California, a couple weeks ago. Um, so yeah, we got Margaret with us this morning. Margaret, what do you think? A nice exhibition of some photography there at the Ransom E. Olds Museum in East Lansing. Hmm. Just, just a thought. Thought I'd put that out there since she's with us this morning.
I'm open.
Yes, and that's a little closer to home.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's an easy one.
David, I want to thank you for taking time to do this morning, taking time for your schedule, and I really want to thank you for your photography because it really does inspire road trips. I know that for a fact. It inspires people. They see this and they get drawn into your work. I was very privileged to hear you speak in a bit about how to take photographs at a Miles of Possibility conference, and it was, shall we say, illuminating. The artistry and attention to detail that you put into your work, and people are drawn into your photographs. And I think it'd be impossible to gauge how many people you've inspired to take road trips through your work.
I'm honored to be able to do that. Yeah, that was my chasing the light down Route 66 presentation. I think that was maybe like 2018 or 2019 MopCon. That
Yeah,
that that was a fun one to give.
yeah, it was.
Uh,
Yeah, Margaret says yes, yes, and yes. Very good. I'll have to put you guys in touch.
Yeah, please do.
That's up
Yeah,
in
I'm excited, Margaret.
East Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not a big drive at all. And I always love to go to Michigan. Michigan is such beautiful country.
yeah, it is. Especially, I worked up in the UP up northern Michigan when I was younger, and a lot of people miss that area. That is beautiful up there. That 2 weeks between mosquito and snow is just wonderful. Is just wonderful. Yeah, that's a story for another day. David, I want to thank you so very much. You're going to like this. Next week, we're going to have another little bit of road trip inspiration. We're going to be visiting with Rhys Martin next week.
Oh, this will be a great one.
Rhys is the president of the Oklahoma Association, Route 66 Association, and director of the National Trust for Historic Preservation Route 66 initiative. And Rhys and Sam, his wife Sam, my gosh, I get tired just watching what they're doing. I don't know. Yeah, they're just
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I mean, Reese is like all over the place these days, with being, his two roles.
yeah,
Yeah, he's like turned into a jet setter.
yeah. I don't know.
They are such incredible people, such kind souls, like so positive, so driven, and just pouring their heart and soul into Route 66 and making such a huge difference.
Well, they pour it into the communities. They encourage people to develop that sense of community, and then they help them do it.
Hmm.
And it comes back full circle to the people building that sense of community. And that's really what this is. Michael Wallace referred to Route 66 as a linear community. And I would take that a step further. I would portray Route 66 as America's longest small town.
Sure.
It just has a small town politics. That people squabble, they complain, but when there's a problem, they pull together, and they work as a small town. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Take for instance, are you familiar with? I think they call it RDS,
RDS? No, I'm not
the
familiar with that.
Roadie Delivery Service.
Oh yes, okay.
And that's a real thing. There's folks on the road that are part of the RDS, and they move things that need to move up and down Route 66 simply because they're traveling the road, and they'll pick something up at one place and deliver it to another.
It's amazing. That's another part of the Route 66 that separates it from US 12 or 80 or which US 2. Uh, the examples are just endless. Uh, there was a young Japanese gal a couple of years ago. Speaking of passing things down the road, my wife and I became very concerned. She looked like she fell off a charm bracelet, and she probably weighed 90 pounds with her pockets filled with rocks. She spoke zero English, and she had become so fascinated with Route 66, the boroughs and Oatman, she flew to Los Angeles and started hitchhiking down Route 66.
Wow.
And we were very concerned, but I'll tell you, she just kept getting passed from person to person and house to house, all the way down Route 66.
Wow, what an incredible story she must have to tell.
Yeah, I met her parents some years later. Another one in New Mexico a few years ago. A tour company had a real bad problem. Uh, their primary, they had two tour guides on this convoy, and one became incapacitated in St. Louis, and the other got food poisoning in New Mexico. And a motel owner in New Mexico told the tour company owner that his wife could watch the motel for a couple days. He would take the tour across New Mexico, and then someone picked it up in Arizona until the tour guide could get on his feet again.
Wow.
Yeah, you just don't find that except on Route 66.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I really have appreciated our conversation this morning. We got making some changes here, and ah, it just seems like it's a never-ending learning curve, like going from glass plate photography to digital cameras sometimes. But Podbean has announced they're discontinuing the live stream option.
Oh no.
So this old dog is trying to learn some new tricks before mid-May, and
Uh-huh.
I'm looking for a new home for Coffee with Jim. We're just getting this program really going. We're running sometimes 20,000 downloads a month, and we're starting to make some real progress, inspiring people, getting a community together. So now we're off on another tangent of trying to figure this out. But such is life. It's all part of the grand adventure.
Yep, yeah, it's very true. It's
It's
it's interesting, Jim, as time goes on. I'm in my mid 50s at this point, and I was always one to be very up on technology, know how to operate things, but I'm finding it's getting a little bit more confusing these days. I've got kids that have, well, one has an iPhone now at 13 years old. We put that in her hand. She begged for it for a long time. At the beginning of school year, we put that in her hand. And but as a parent, you want to keep some controls and make sure they're
yeah.
safe and that they're not spending too much time on the screen and stuff. And I just can't figure these different permissions out. She's like, oh, it's not working. I didn't have any screen time today, and it says I'm out of screen time. And I'm just like, wow, I can't figure out all these different technical things anymore.
No, no. I'm people. I get a kick out of people think that I'm real tech savvy because of the stuff I do. I'm most comfortable in the world of Model A Ford technology, and Judy and I had a avocado green Leave It to Beaver, a rotary dial wall phone until about 10 years ago. Uh, I just push buttons until something works or breaks. That's just that's the only way I can get through this. But
Yeah.
the more this technology comes up and I'm having to deal with it, the more I think becoming an Amish farmer is a career move.
Well. Are there any Amish along Route 66?
Yes, there are. There are some Mennonite communities in the area of Route 66. In fact, I just discovered in Tulsa, I was at Road Fest last year, and across from the Campbell Hotel, uh, you have to look for it. It's really a weird place. It's near the offices of the Oklahoma Route 66 Association across from the Campbell Hotel in a
Okay.
strip mall. It's got a
Yeah.
bail bondsman on one side, a tattoo parlor on the other.
Hmm.
Sweetie Pie's Amish Kitchen and Bakery.
I missed that.
And it was delightful. I filled the car with all kinds of homemade jams and jellies, and all their breads, their eggs, everything come from local Amish farms,
Uh-huh.
and first class. So yes, there is.
That's interesting. I grew up in a small town in Western Pennsylvania, and Amish communities are all over the place out there. But I never realized that Amish was further west as well, out into Oklahoma and in those areas. I always kind of felt like it was more of a Pennsylvania, Ohio sort of, community.
Yeah, there's all kinds of these different things out here, and I've been telling people this for a while. This is not a hint for your next photography assignment, by the way. But people who have listened to the program for some time know that I've been talking about nudist colonies on Route 66.
This isn't a hint.
Uh, the short version of this is every year, and I try to answer people's questions. Do with this as you will, but every year I get one or two people asking, "Do you know where there's a nudist colony on Route 66?" And the answer is no, I don't. Well, the last year I've gotten at least 14, 15 inquiries lately about nudist colonies on Route 66. I don't have the address or the information. I will have that up. I found out there is one just off Route 66 in the Cajon Pass. There you go. Do with that as you please, my friends. But I do recommend sunscreen.
Yeah.
and avoid convertibles with black vinyl seats.
Or like a '78 Chrysler Cordoba with metal buckles on the seats. I think I might still be branded from my youth.
Well, the fact that you even mentioned a Chrysler Cordoba speaks volumes about your age, your memories, and exploits. Not many people will admit having an association with Chrysler Cordobas.
And that was Chrysler's answer to the Monte Carlo.
Yes.
Yeah, my parents had a black '78.
They were very stylish, wonderful cars, and absolutely horrible to work on.
Uh,
Just absolutely horrible. I was working in the Chrysler garage in those years,
you
and
know, it had fine Corinthian leather.
yes, poor Ricardo. We're off on another tangent here, but I've always been amazed by the way we advertise. Look up Corinthian leather, folks. You'll be surprised.
Yes.
It doesn't
It's not a
exist.
real thing.
No, and yet it was sold. And it's like cigarette lighters. Cadillac advertised that cars came with a cigar lighter. Chevrolets came with a cigarette lighter, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. David, thank you so much for taking time to do this today. And I look forward to seeing you out here. And we'll see if we can get some introductions going with the arts community. And, another one that popped into my head, and I will do this offline, I'll get you an email. But the mayor of Needles, California, is looking for exhibits and exhibitions for the El Garces, the old Harvey House in Needles. They're trying to get.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's a neat facility down there that they're putting together. I'll put that together as well. My friends, I want to thank everybody who joined us for this morning. For everybody who joined us, we'll get this published later today, and I'll include information on David's upcoming exhibits there in Galena and the stamps. And of course, we've got his website here, and we'll have his website on the post later today. You sell your photography as well, right, David?
I do. Yes. I offer fine art limited edition prints, and then I have open edition sets as well in different sizes. In my studio / gallery here in Lakewood, Ohio, I've got over probably 175 different photos of Route 66 hanging. And I do occasionally open up for open studios for people to come in and check it out. And that's something that if someone's interested in, they can always sign up for my newsletter. In fact, I would definitely encourage people to go to my site, sign up for my newsletter to stay in tune with what I've got going on. In fact, right now I'm giving away a Centennial Stamp pane, which I will mat up and sign. I'm going to give one of those away for free. I've been doing that every couple of months for one lucky subscriber. So,
okay, that's pics on route66.com.
Correct.
That's pretty easy to come up with. We can do that.
It is.
And it's PICS, not
correct. Yes,
not PICT, as in the ancient tribe in Britain. That's another story.
Or PICK, which is Randy that owns Shea Station. That's his pics on Route 66.
I did not know that. My friends, I want to thank you. Margaret, I'll put you in touch with David and see what happens. See if we can get David out and about. It'll be great to see you out here. Anybody who's coming out for the fun run, drop me a note. Well, it's going to be kind of hectic. It always is. We've got a quick rundown. April 30th. There'll be a lot going up in Seligman, Arizona that evening. Bob Bosbell of True West Magazine. He's an artist and photographer, or artist and author. And True West Magazine, he'll be there. Efren Lopez, another great photographer. And Greg Gassick will be there with his new Route 66 Centennial souvenir book.
Oh, cool.
Friday, a lot of activities going in Seligman. Saturday's the big day. Dutton Motors Dream Machines, which is being converted to an auto museum, and Mr. D's Route 66 gift shop. They're going to have special exhibits, things going on. That's next to Mr. D's Route 66 Diner. And then Scoops on 66, Tin Can Alley that we talked about. Scoops on 66 will have special Route 66 ice cream that they're having made for this event. They'll be downtown. And I do apologize. I thought I had a note here, but we have a great Japanese recording artist that'll be performing at the Beale Street Theater one block off Route 66, Saturday evening at 5 o'clock. I'll have information up on this as well. The Beale Street Theater is the old State Theater in Kingman, and they've transformed it into a performing arts center and classic cinema. And it's really incredible what these people did. They poured themselves into this nonprofit. And then that night at 7:30, Kingman Main Street spearheaded this, working with the Historic Route 66 Association of Arizona. It'll be the first step in, hopefully, at least exterior renovation of the Hotel Beale. The towering scaffolding type signage on the Hotel Beale that's been dark for over 70 years.
Wow, that long.
Yeah, they're going to be relighting that on Saturday night about 7:30. So if you're in town for the fun run, there's going to be something for everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. David, thank you. You take care of yourself. We'll see you soon. And my friends,
Thank you, Jim. I just want to say I really am grateful for you and everything that you do for Route 66 and the Route 66 community. You are just such an incredible human being.
Well, now I got to get a bigger hat.
Maybe we can go shopping together.
But guys, it's a team effort, and it's not just Route 66. It's in general. We've got the key to all of this is building a stronger sense of community, and we do that from teamwork and building cooperative partnerships and being supportive, and putting aside our differences, looking at what we have in common, and building on that commonality, not what divides us and separates us. That's the way we succeed. That's the way we do things. So
Indeed.
That's my soapbox for the morning. Speaking of great things and teamwork, I will bid everybody adios. Well, a little bit of music from my good friends, Joe and Woody and the boys of the Road Crew 66. If you need some road trip inspiring music or a theme song for your road trip, well, check out roadcrew66.com. The Texas Motor Tour this year, by the way, I think that is in October, if I remember right, September, October. The Road Crew will be performing in Amarillo for that event. And it's a show you don't want to miss. Until we meet again, my friends, I will bid you adios. David, thank you and take care, my friend.
You too. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a 2-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.